And speaking of China, there was one photo today that showed just how sick that dictatorship, the dictatorship is, and how stupidly it lies. This is the photo. It's taken from a discussion on CNN about Peng Shuai, the tennis champion that China denies it's keeping captive. Look at that test pattern on the right of the screen. And I'll come back to that because it exposes China's lie. Like I said last night, Peng Shuai is a Chinese player who won the doubles title at Wimbledon and the Paris Open, but went missing in China for 2 weeks after she accused one of China's top politicians, a former vice premier, of raping her, posting her allegations on Weibo, China's version of Twitter. Now that post was quickly deleted, and so were all posts in China about Peng Shuai. But top tennis players like Novak Djokovic spoke out, and the Women's Tennis Association said if China did not prove Peng was safe, it would be banned from hosting tournaments. So China tried various stunts to convince the world Peng wasn't really under detention. For instance, it released a video of her at a restaurant where the people around her just happened, very helpfully as you do, to mention the date. The date that day, it was last Saturday, so that the world would know it was filmed now. How natural is that? But if Peng is so free in China, simply resting at home, like an email purportedly from her said, out and about with friends, all that kind of thing, why does China not want its own citizens to know this reassuring news? So,
Will, I want to explain to our viewers what's happening on our screen right now, because underneath your face, they can see a box, which is the actual live feed of this broadcast in China, but it's all color bars. And it went to color bars the minute you started talking. So what's going on here?
Chinese censors, John. I have lost count over the last 8 years here in Asia covering China of how many times CNN's coverage of controversial issues has been censored. They scrub Peng Shuai from the internet. They're certainly not talking about this on television, and even international networks. They have an army of censors waiting to push that button the minute that we start talking about this story.
The fraud exposed. But in all this concern about one female tennis champion, let us never forget that Peng Shuai is just one of millions of people detained in China. Muslim Uyghurs, Falun Gong, Catholic leaders, human rights activists, Hong Kong politicians and journalists like Jimmy Lai, who I had on the show twice before he was jailed. Let us not also forget China holds 2 Australians in jail on fake charges of spying. Journalist Chang Lei, who criticised China's handling of the pandemic, and writer and democracy advocate Yang Hengjun, locked up now for 2 years. And now dictator Xi Jinping is locking up some of his own senior officials like Meng Hongwei, his former Vice Minister of Public Security. His wife has not heard of him now for 2 years, and she lives in hiding in France. She spoke out this week against this dictatorship.
For today's China, in my eyes, I think they are the monster now because they eat their children.
Yeah, there's Penny Wong. Penny Wong saying that if this evil regime is in a war against the US, well, let's not say whose side would be on. Please tell me she didn't mean it.